If you've been following me for a while, you would know that I'm working on something called the PBA Release. And after almost 2 years of trying, I think I finally got it down to a pretty good point. It's not perfect yet, but I'm averaging about 230 in league for the last 4 months with a high series of 771, which is my highest since my 825 about 12 years ago. So I think I figured something out finally. And if you just give me 5 seconds of your time, I'm going to break it down for you.
I want it.
And now that I've broken it down for you, we're going to go into what it took for me to figure out how to do the PBA Release. I call it the PBA Release because there's a pretty clear difference between a regular league bowler and someone at the higher levels, namely the effortless manner in which they can apply a lot of rotation and power into the bowling ball. We can look at a lot of different players like AJ Chapman, Mike Fagan, and they all have their unique qualities, but the same thing applies to all of them, is that they all create a ton of power with very minimal effort. So there are 3 main things that I've been working on over the past 2 years to go from this to this. And I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes breaking down each thing that I've been working on and how I fixed it. So the first thing that I was working on was my swing plane. As you can see in the first video, this is obviously a very bad day where my swing was coming out even more than normal. My swing was coming out and it was not coming back in. It's fine if your swing comes out and tucks back into your body like EJ Tackett, but mine was not doing that. And it's basically impossible to get a powerful release if your swing is coming out like that and it's not tucking back in. So what I did to fix my swing plane was, it's actually kind of a mind F, but basically I feel like my swing is down by my butt at the peak. Like this is where it feels like. It feels like it's stopping there, but as you can see in my form, it's still coming up well above my head. But it literally feels like it's right around here at the peak of my swing. And that's just something that's really annoying with our bodies, is that what we feel is not always what we're actually doing. So that's why I always recommend to record yourself and see how you're throwing it, so you can actually visually see what you're doing versus just throwing the ball and hoping that you're doing the right thing. So now that we fixed the swing plane, there's still 2 more things that I had to fix to get to the point that I'm at now. And the second one is working the inside of the ball. Pretty much every single high-level player is working the inside of the ball. And what that means is you can see them very far inside for right-handers on the left side of the ball, and at the release they kind of come around it and end up behind the ball. That's what it means to work the inside of the ball. You're coming from way inside, and at the release you're coming around. So for me to really fix that, I do a little practice swing where I'm making sure that my hand is on the inside of the ball, and I want to maintain that feel the entire way through my swing. So each individual practice swing that I'm doing, I'm making sure my hand is on the inside of the ball, and I want to keep it there throughout the duration of the swing. And at the release, that's when you want to apply a little bit of rotation and end up behind the ball. This is something you can pretty easily practice at home. Just grab a bowling ball, learn the feel of being on the inside of the ball, and at release, just having a little bit of rotation and then ending up behind the ball. Just like that. Now the third thing that I had to work on was having a free swing. Now what exactly does a free swing mean? When you think of the term free swing, you might just think of the pendulum and having gravity control the entirety of that. But that's just one part of having a free swing. And now I owe a huge credit to Darren Tang for helping me unlock this part, because this is something I knew a long time ago, but after almost a 7-year hiatus, I forgot. You need to have absolutely zero tension in your elbow and your wrist. You need to be completely loose in your wrist and your elbow as you're swinging. To help you visualize why this is important, I have some props here, a stick and a belt. Now imagine a stick being your very tense arm. How much rotation is this going to get on the ball at the release? Not very much. Now imagine the belt swinging. This is your loose arm. How much more pop does a loose arm get than a tense arm? A lot. So when your elbow and wrist are loose, you're not using any muscular tension. What happens for me at the top of the swing is my wrist kind of automatically cups on its own. I don't even feel like I'm doing that, it's just kind of happening. And on the way down, you can see my elbow kind of pop, and I get a lot more power into the ball. And I don't feel that happening either. It's just kind of happening as a consequence of being loose and having no muscular tension at all in my swing. So I gotta say again, shout out to Darren Tang for that quick lesson in your garage. That really unlocked a big key for me. So those are the 3 main things I've been working on to get my release to where it is today. And there's 2 key notes that I need you to realize before you start any of this. One is only work on one thing at a time. It's almost impossible to work on multiple things at once. So just focus on one thing at a time and try to correct one small piece for like a week or 2 until you get that down, and then work on the next thing. If you're trying to do more than one thing at once, your mind's gonna be overloaded and it's gonna be almost impossible to get anything right. The second thing is that you're probably gonna get worse before you get better. My average dropped to about 190 for like a month while I was working on everything. And it was pretty frustrating to deal with that drop in performance, but in the long term, as you're working on the right things, your muscle memory starts developing correctly, and once you finally get everything going in the right direction, you will see your scores start to shoot up. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys thought about it with a comment down below. Share this with a friend that might need to learn something in this video, and make sure you subscribe because we're going for 100K, hopefully by the end of this year. See you in the next one.